So the last few weeks here in December 2019 have been pretty boring as far as Smash news goes. Really not much has happened ever since the Game Awards, where we ended up not getting a character revealed. I personally thought we were going to get a character revealed. It just seemed very likely to me, with Joker getting revealed at the Game Awards the year before, it being basically the one-year anniversary of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate won Fighting Game of the Year at the Game Awards. It seemed like it was going to be a good time to reveal that final DLC Fighters Pass character, as that has to be over in February 2020. So the Game Awards were like lined up perfectly for when the character could get revealed and then released in February. But unfortunately, we didn't get anybody. I was always really clear and careful in all my videos leading up to the Game Awards to say that I couldn't guarantee that that's when we'd get a character revealed, because I hadn't heard anything about getting a character revealed. I had no idea when that was going to happen. It just seemed very likely to me that's when it would happen. I think a lot of people thought that was very likely when we'd get the next character revealed, but unfortunately, the Game Awards have come and gone, and that's not when we got a character revealed. Instead, we got a whole bunch of Magic the Gathering commercials, so I guess that's what they're going for with the Game Awards now. Anyway, going into them, I thought Cosmos had the best shot of being our next character. There were a bunch of other characters that seemed fairly likely as well. In fact, even Master Chief felt really likely in like the days leading up to the Game Awards. I think the day of the Game Awards, a couple of characters popped up, one of which was Dragonborn. A lot of people were talking about the possibility of getting Dragonborn revealed, so that would have been pretty cool. And also, Quote from Cave Story had some stuff going for him. I really love Cave Story, so actually when Reggie was like announcing some indie award, I was like, oh man, are we actually going to get Quote? Because I really like Shovel Knight and Shantae, and I also really like Quote from Cave Story. Those are all really awesome indie games in my opinion. Indie games I'd love to have represented in Smash. So yeah, if Quote happened, I'd be super pumped about it. But again, Game Awards came and went, we didn't get anybody. So now, of course, the question is, when will we get the next character revealed? We have to have this whole Fighters Pass done by February 2020, so it seems like somebody has to get revealed pretty soon here. There's a very high possibility we could get a Nintendo Direct in early January, and of course, if we do get a Nintendo Direct, it's almost guaranteed we'd get the next fighter revealed. Of course, we were all thinking the same thing about the Game Awards, so who knows when we'll actually see this next fighter. There is supposedly some scheduled maintenance on January 6th, so it's possible during that week something big could be happening with Nintendo, and potentially that could be a Nintendo Direct, as sometimes Nintendo Directs have things that come out like right away afterwards, and if they're doing maintenance, yeah, it could all line up. We also have our next set of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Amiibos, Dark Samus and Richter Belmont, so those come out on January 17th, and it's possible that could be the week that we could get a Nintendo Direct and potentially our next character revealed. Another interesting thing that's been happening lately is Sakurai is doing these picks of the day over on Twitter, so those could be leading up to something, again, potentially a Smash character reveal. This is a rough translation of what Sakurai wrote over on Twitter. It says, during the development of Smash Bros. SP, I kept raising the images under development once a day in the daily reports released to the team. It continues all the time. I'd like to upload this image at random once a day for a while. You may use the debugging function for shooting, but please pardon. I like that this translated to Smash Bra and not Smash Bros. That's just kind of funny to me. I believe he's talking about the debugging mode, like he's using that to get certain shots, so maybe these aren't shots that we'd be able to get, but you can get them in the debug mode. So yeah, Sakurai puts up some pretty weird pictures, and all of a sudden to want to put Smash pictures back up on Twitter, it's a little strange, so obviously he's promoting Smash for some reason. It could be a lead up to the next character reveal. Some people were starting to suggest theories on the pictures themselves, like that they could be hinting at the next character, but they seem pretty random given the like 4 or 5 that we have out right now. I don't think these are hinting at anybody, besides the fact that they're happening at all might be hinting at, you know, that the next character could be showing up pretty soon, but I don't think there's specifically hints towards any characters with what's in the images themselves. They get pretty strange. So that's pretty much what we're entering 2020 with, just waiting for the next Nintendo Direct, and probably when our next Smash character will be revealed. Finally. So let's talk a bit about what leakers are doing right now. That was a big thing in the lead up to the Game Awards, was Sabi and Verjaben deconfirming characters leading up to the Game Awards, basically kind of hyping it up that we would get a character there, but it didn't happen. A lot of people got specifically angry at Sabi because they posted a bunch of tweets that did mention the Game Awards and Smash together, but Sabi never really came out and said that they had heard a character was totally, definitely going to happen at the Game Awards. So personally, I think people are being way too harsh on Sabi. I don't think Sabi really guaranteed anything like that. They just kind of thought the same thing everybody else thought, but I believe that was just speculation. The only actual leak Sabi had for Smash was that one list of deconfirmed characters that Sabi's source was deconfirming for us. And here's that list from Sabi. It says Ryu Hayabusa, Crash Bandicoot, Doom Guy, Geno, Dante, Lloyd / a Tales of rep, Sora, Falcom reps, Nipponichi reps, all together. Now, I completely understand the backlash here. I think people were just really angry not getting anyone at the Game Awards and looking for a target, and Sabi was like the face of Smash speculation leading up to the Game Awards, so I understand why people came at them, but honestly, they really never said for sure something was going to happen at the Game Awards as like a leak. They just kind of hinted that that was likely, but again, everybody was thinking that. I think Sabi was just in the same boat as everyone and just kind of hyping everything. So again, I get why people are mad, but technically Sabi never really said the Game Awards was definitely when we'd get this character revealed. As far as Sabi's list of deconfirmed characters, I still think it's in play. And this is simply because I know who Sabi's source is, and I know that they're a pretty credible person. However, I also know exactly what's going on, so let me break it down for you guys. I've done this several times, but I just want to be really clear on this is the only real, leaked Smash information Sabi actually had here, and I just want to make this clear as possible so people know what's going on. Essentially what's happening here is Sabi has a source who's very credible. I know who this source is, so I can back up that they are in fact a very credible person. They heard two names that are supposedly coming to Super Smash Bros. One of those names was Terry, and the other name they haven't told anyone. Sabi's source believes this other name is most likely DLC number 5. They haven't told us who it is, but they have deconfirmed who it isn't. A few names got popular in speculation, and they deconfirmed them as not being the name that they heard. That's that list that I was just talking about that Sabi tweeted out. The one with Ryu Hayabusa, Crash Bandicoot, Doom Guy, Geno, Dante, Lloyd or any Tales of rep, Sora, any Falcom reps, or Nipponichi reps. Those aren't the name that Sabi's source heard. Now again, Sabi's source believes the name is probably DLC number 5, but I've said this many times before, the order is hard to guess. So while I still personally think Sabi's list is worth looking at, and I still believe Sabi's source is most likely correct, and the character they heard is probably DLC number 5, they're also not completely infallible, and I will admit that this list is only somewhat useful, given the fact that any of the characters on that list could be coming later on down the line, and maybe just not as DLC 5, makes the list kind of only useful for DLC 5. Also, given the fact that Sabi's source could be wrong about the character they heard being DLC 5, maybe it's DLC 6, then this list could also just be deconfirming DLC 6. It's just deconfirming whatever name Sabi's source heard, and since we can't be sure of the order, yeah, the list is only so useful. I wrote a couple of things over on Discord just about this whole backlash that happened after the Game Awards towards Sabi, and I wrote, I still think the Sabi list is likely legit because I know who Sabi is deconfirming stuff with. But I understand if people are done with hanging on Sabi's every word. I get it. Though I don't think they really were wrong here, I understand people being done with the roller coaster. Later on I wrote, this was constantly shooting down hope for characters with deconfirmations from two sources that weren't always in step, Sabi and Verjaben. And it was unclear and hard to follow between all that. Plus, deconfirmations being backpedaled on, all the while multiple potential text leaks happened, and it all culminated in a disappointing Smashless Game Awards. Yeah, people are exhausted and pissed after all this. Someone asked me specifically if Sabi had told me that they knew a character was going to happen at the Game Awards, and I wrote this. I said, Sabi is more straightforward and less hinty, cryptic, etc. in private messages, and yeah, they did not know the DLC or when the DLC would happen. Very clear to me about that in private messages, which is why I always said I did not know who we'd get or when we'd get them. I just thought the Game Awards were very likely to be when the reveal would happen. I think everyone did. So anytime Sabi wrote anything that might sound like they knew the DLC or specifically knew what was at the Game Awards, etc., that was all in the wording. The actual info Sabi had for Smash, as far as I'm aware, is just that one source who is very credible who, in my opinion, probably does know the next character, deconfirming a few things. But that was really the only info that was gotten from them. Never knew if the Game Awards would have a reveal, and never got a name out of that source. Just a few deconfirmation for characters the source didn't hear. Still even unsure who they heard will be DLC 5 or if it'll happen later on. Though likely it is DLC 5, but I've said many times the order is hard to get even with real info. So this list is still worth listening to in my opinion, as I still think Sabi's source info is worth listening to, even if people are disillusioned with listening to Sabi's every word now. So that's basically my take on Sabi after the Game Awards. We still talk, though there hasn't really been much Smash info, so nothing's really happened in the following weeks here. As far as Vergaben goes, I don't have the curtain pulled back on me for what's happening there. I know exactly what's happening with Sabi and Sabi's source and the character deconfirmations, so that all makes sense to me. But Vergaben deconfirming stuff, I have no idea the process there. I don't talk to Vergaben, I don't know anything about it. I made this list just separating what Verge had said, what Sabi had said. So I don't know, if you still believe Vergaben, then yeah, there's that full list. Personally, I'm just looking at the Sabi list, and even that, I'm acknowledging the fact that Sabi's source could be wrong about the order, so it's only so useful. Vergaben has since deconfirmed a couple more characters, but they are characters I don't think anyone was expecting, so yeah, I don't know how useful this is either. Okay, so next let's talk about the character that I thought was most likely in the lead up to the Game Awards. That character was Cosmos, and there were a few leaks for Cosmos supposedly getting revealed at the Game Awards that turned out to be totally fake. Those turned out to be fake before the Game Awards even happened, but I still thought Cosmos was very likely. Cosmos is a Namco rep, she's a female rep, it just seemed like something that might actually happen here. Right before the Game Awards, this also happened. Well, with all that Cosmos talk about her being the 5th DLC character for Smash, and then the Video Game Awards being tomorrow, this just happened to me not long ago on YouTube. It says, due to a copyright claim, your YouTube video has been blocked. This means that your video can no longer be played on YouTube. Video titled, Smash Ultimate Mods, Cosmos Release, Copyright Content, Mario Kart Tour, claimed by Nintendo. So there was a really strange copyright claim that happened over on YouTube. It took down this Cosmos mod, I think it was for like Project M or something like that, and it took it down, and it was a copyright claim issued by Nintendo for something that had to do with Cosmos and Super Smash Bros. And this was right in the lead up to the Game Awards. It did have that weird thing where it was for Mario Kart Tour, so I don't know if Cosmos is coming to Mario Kart or what, or why they take down a Smash mod for Cosmos right beforehand, but it was an odd thing that happened then, and gave a little bit more evidence towards Cosmos potentially being our next DLC character. However, recently there's actually been something that's a bit of a hit against Cosmos. Over on Twitter, Harada wrote, "This actually progressed to the remaster's plan, but failed in a profitable market analysis. Sorry guys, this plan will be difficult to resurface." This was asking about if Xenosaga was getting a new game. Stealth over on Twitter summed it up pretty well and said, according to Harada at Namco, they actually did look into a Xenosaga Trilogy HD Remaster collection, but in looking at the potential profitability, it didn't look good, so the idea was scrapped. That's a bummer. Now, obviously, a character doesn't have to have a new game coming out in order to get into Super Smash Bros., but it is kind of telling that Namco has looked at the numbers here as how profitable Xenosaga is and decided that re-releasing it as a collection, like an HD collection or something, would not be very profitable. That seems a little strange to me if Cosmos was actually coming to Super Smash Bros. You'd think that would be the perfect time to promote something with Xenosaga. So, yeah, I'm just a little wary of Cosmos now after hearing that. It doesn't mean Cosmos isn't coming to Smash. Again, I don't think a character has to have a new game coming out in order to get into Smash, but this is a little telling of what Namco's thinking about Xenosaga, and if they don't think it's very profitable at the moment, then I'd be surprised if they decided Cosmos should come to Smash. Feels like if Cosmos was coming to Smash, then they'd be second-guessing potentially putting out an HD collection and how that might actually be profitable if people are getting introduced to the character in Smash. So with Cosmos getting a hit against her, let's talk about the original likely DLC 5 character, Ryu Hayabusa. Brew Elfin and I Am Shifty were the first people to kind of jump on board and say that Ryu Hayabusa would probably be DLC number 5. Brew Elfin actually specifically said that Ryu Hayabusa would get announced in 2019. They weren't sure if it would be DLC 5, but they did say that their source was telling them it would be announced in 2019. So, about that Hayabusa announcement, I said 2019. The claim is still in the running. I still trust you, but 2019 is almost done. Brew Elfin says, yeah, to be honest, time is running out. I'm wondering when. Damn, the Game Awards had no Smash announcement. Would you say Hayabusa is probs a 2020 thing now? I still trust the 2019 claim, to be honest. If it doesn't happen, then my source takes an L, and I might even call him out. I'm filming this on New Year's Eve 2019, so unless Ryu Hayabusa gets announced in the next, hour here, yeah, looks like Brew's source is going to take that L, and that whole Ryu Hayabusa getting announced in 2019 thing is off, if not just straight up wrong. So let's recap what other leaks are still in play here. The most obvious one is the Malo and Cacodemon Mihat leak. That one still hasn't been knocked down, and a Bethesda rep is something we've been talking about for a long time, ever since that interview with Bethesda where they said they had talked to Nintendo about Smash. Like I was saying before, there were some rumors floating around about potentially Dragonborn getting in Smash right before the Game Awards, so it's still possible that the Cacodemon and Malo Mihats could actually be coming with Dragonborn and not with Doomguy, as most people thought. Personally, I still think it's probably Doom Guy, but just saying, there were some rumors about Dragonborn, and Cacodemon is, a Bethesda game. Obviously, it's from Doom specifically, but it doesn't necessarily mean Doom Guy. It could be we get some other Bethesda character like Dragonborn, and then we just get some Mii-hats that fit other Bethesda games. It's a possibility. Now, whether or not this Mii-hat leak is real or not, I do not know for sure. Personally, I'm kind of leaning towards it being real. No one's really been able to totally debunk it. It looks pretty legit to me, but hey, I can get things wrong. I get things wrong all the time, so I really don't know for sure whether or not this one's real. It just seems more real than fake to me. Whether or not it has anything to do with the next DLC fighter, I don't know. It could be happening later down the line. I'd absolutely love to get Doom Guy and Geno. I think they both have pretty good chances anyway, even without this leak. I do think this leak has a lot of things pointing to it probably being from the same person who leaked Ken. So yeah, I'm thinking it's probably real, maybe later down the line. No idea if it's going to have to do with DLC 5, but hey, if DLC 5 was Doom Guy and we got Geno as a bonus fighter right after the Fighter's Pass, that's like best case scenario in my book, so that would be really awesome. However, I think we're probably going to have to wait and see if that one's real, as I think if it is real, it's probably for some future DLC character and not DLC number 5. Now, what I do think probably does have to do with DLC 5 is Daisy Theory, and I know this one's kind of like the purple and yellow chair and behind Sakurai in that one Smash Direct, but I actually think that this one is probably a hint at our next DLC character. I really do think this one is likely to be a hint. Daisy Theory was this image that got put out on the 1-year anniversary of Smash, and what better time for them to hint at a character than the 1-year Smash anniversary. It has all the DLC characters with Mario in the middle, and then for some reason, Princess Daisy. I do think it's just really odd to have Daisy in here, and that she's probably a stand-in for whoever DLC number 5 is. She is already heavily associated with the color orange, and that already fits our color theory, which seems very likely to be somewhat associated with whoever the next DLC character is. Probably their background color on the website will be orange, and again, Daisy has orange. We also don't have any female characters for DLC yet, and it seems like we probably should have one. So yeah, I do think this image is likely hinting at our next DLC character. I think Daisy is probably a stand-in, but that's just what I believe personally. Now, Cosmos could fit that. Cosmos is a Bandai character, and Bandai Namco's color is orange, and Cosmos is a female character, so that could work. I still think the character that fits best with this is actually Arl from Puyo Puyo, though. I think she just really, really fits being a stand-in for Daisy here, so I think that's a possibility as well. The biggest issue with Arl is that she's a Sega character, and we already got Joker, who's a Sega character, and it kind of feels like the best way to round out this Fighter's Pass would be with a Namco character. And of course, if it's going to be a Namco character who's female, once again, Cosmos seems pretty likely. We also don't have the Namco Mii costumes back yet, and Namco, I believe, is the only third-party company from Super Smash Bros. 4 that had Mii costumes to not have any of those Mii costumes return yet for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, so it seems pretty likely that our final DLC character could bring those costumes with them. Whether or not they're a Namco character, I don't know, but obviously Cosmos would fit really well with bringing those costumes back. There's a few other potential leaks, rumors, and theories floating around. For instance, the Reimu music leak that could potentially lead to our next character or some character further down the road. So we'll just have to keep an eye on everything. Like I said, there hasn't really been much in the last few weeks, so anything I talk about here would really just be recapping everything. And hey, you can go watch my old videos. I don't need to just spend forever talking about everything that's already happened. One more fairly interesting thing before I end the final video I'm shooting here in 2019 was sent to me over on Discord. Someone over on Discord sent me a Facebook screenshot of this post. It says, "Hey friends, I wanted to put some feelers out for drum tracks as we head into the near year. If anybody needs reasonably priced drum tracks, I would love to serve y'all. Here is a recent track I did for the new Banjo-Kazooie game that's coming out. Feel free to reach out." I wrote this when I shared it over on my Discord. I said, "Heard some new info pointing to a new Banjo-Kazooie game. I was sent a screen capture from a private Facebook group for musicians with someone posting that they did a drum track for a new Banjo game. Tough to say if it's legit, but worth keeping in mind for sure." So supposedly what's going on here is that there was a private group on Facebook for professional musicians to share what they've been working on. Someone apparently is in that group and saw this post and then took a screenshot of it and sent it over to me. So this is from a private Facebook group, if that's to be believed, and it is the sort of thing that could actually leak. I mean, this is the sort of way something could leak. Someone who's tangentially involved in a game like a new Banjo-Kazooie game, and they're just doing the music for it, and they're sharing it in a musician Facebook group privately, if they don't think, too many people are really going to see it, it could be the way something could leak. However, I'll also completely admit this is something that would be really easy to fake. Given that it's a private Facebook group, I can't actually go check to see if the post exists, and you could easily doctor up a post like this and, attach that story to it, send it over to me, and hope to sensationalize something. So it's just something worth keeping in mind. I do think a new Banjo-Kazooie game is fairly likely, given that Banjo's in Smash. Seems like something Microsoft might want to promote. So we'll see if Banjo actually gets a game revival, but yeah, I can't say for sure whether or not this one's real, but I figured I'd share it with you guys, something to keep in mind going forward. Alright guys, well that's everything I wanted to talk about in this video. Hopefully this Smash drought is coming to an end. Hopefully we'll get some news about a Nintendo Direct very, very soon. I do think with the Fighters Pass ending in February, we have to get the character revealed soon here. Like, honestly, I feel like a Direct happening in the next week or two is very likely, and if we do get a Nintendo Direct, then, like, yeah, that basically has to be when we get the next character revealed. So hopefully things will pick up over the next few days here. Hopefully we'll get a Nintendo Direct in the next few weeks. I hope everybody out there has an excellent New Year's, and I hope that 2020 is an awesome year for Smash. I can't believe that we're actually going to still be speculating Smash characters past February 2020. That's amazing to me. If you guys have any thoughts or comments about any of the stuff I talked about in this video, leave them below. So once again, thank you guys for all the subscribes, all the likes. It really helps out the channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and do so, or like the video, or leave a comment, whatever you want. Until next time, have a good one.